I could trip a referee. Tell by my attitude that I most definitely from.
Welcome back to a very special episode of Tri-State Sports. My name is Noah Mueller, and it is my absolute pleasure and honor to welcome back Rocco Coppola to Wayne Hills TV, the Wayne Hills TV Hall of Famer, to talk about the Knicks. Rocco, how are you doing today?
I'm in utter euphoria, Noah. Here we are. The New York Knicks are finally world champions once more. I mean, we watched this team for months, years, the climb from Jalen Brunson all the way to this very point, beating Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs in the NBA championship. It doesn't get much better than this. Orange and blue skies, baby. Whether it's orange and blue skies, orange and blue lightning, it doesn't matter to me. We are world champions. We deserve this. I predicted this. I predict these things, ladies and gentlemen. It's something I've always been able to do and accomplish at that in the sport of basketball. And here we are.
Yeah,
Put a ring on it. Number 3.
So many tough years of watching as a Knicks fan. So many years where we got so close to that championship, but it feels like a fever dream now. I mean, this was the team that was going to do it. This team was unbelievable top to bottom. But I do want to go down the complete checklist of the past few years and what led us here. But I wanted to start with the Kevin Durant and Kyrie free agency sweepstakes, where they thought one or both of them were going to go to the Knicks for a while, and it really came down to the wire. But they both decided to go to the Nets with James Harden.
A great decision, guys. You really accomplished a lot in Brooklyn. Let's not forget either, we also missed out on Zion Williamson that very offseason. That was after we won, I forgot it was 17 or 19 games. I can't quite remember. But I do remember we were the worst team in basketball.
Yeah.
If you would have told me that the New York Knicks, what would that be, 6 years from that point on? That would be 6 years, would be the worst team in the NBA, not a single free agent or top generational draft prospect would be here, we would be world champions, led by Captain Clutch himself, who we know to call himself as Captain Clutch, Jalen Brunson. I would have thought you were nuts. But here we are.
Yeah.
Champions at last for the first time in 53 years.
Yeah, I remember I was so heartbroken in the moment because I wanted one of the two. I wanted at least KD or Kyrie.
Kyrie was going to Brooklyn. We knew KD was going to Brooklyn.
And even if you missed out on Zion with a team as bad of a record as the Knicks, you would have thought they would have at least gotten Ja Morant. But it wasn't even the case. They fell to number 3, ended up getting R.J. Barrett, who was later traded down the line. But was a good asset for the Knicks while he was there.
Yeah, he did what he had to do.
Yeah. Moving on, LeBron not wanting to sign with the Knicks. Now, this was a heavy topic. There were a lot of superstars that were asked about signing with the Knicks. Didn't want to do it. LeBron, Giannis, guys like that. And, I mean, LeBron's in L.A. now. He got his ring a few years back. But looking at the position there and now, it doesn't seem like it was the best choice.
You won one ring in L.A. You made one finals, LeBron James. You could have come to New York, cemented yourself as the greatest of all time for good, despite what all the people on the internet want to say. It's still Michael Jordan, always will be Michael Jordan. I was entertaining the idea of LeBron about a year or two ago. But then I remembered, do we need LeBron James? Do we really need LeBron James? The answer to that question is no. We never once needed LeBron. We got the forwards that we needed in Josh Hart, OG Anunoby. More skeptical on Josh, but Josh Hart, he knows how to step up when it's time to get clutch. At the end of the day, we saw it this year.
Yeah, I mean, game 1, he played like a modern-day Rodman. I mean, 15 rebounds. That was unbelievable for a guy his size, 6'4", not much of a wingspan, to be honest with you. But, I mean, he really just completed the team, the hustle part of the team. That was one of the most important parts of this team being able to win a championship, and he provided that. Moving on to my least favorite topic, Trae Young heartbreak. The Knicks finally make it back to the playoffs a couple of years back, and they go up against the Hawks. And everyone's like, okay, the Knicks are a high seed. This should probably be a pretty easy win. No. Trae Young, I think he had 45 one game, and the Hawks ended up beating the Knicks in the series. And it was a heartbreak, absolute heartbreak. Trae Young became the villain.
5 games. Let me tell you something about Trae Young. This right here, only Mitchell Robinson's left from that team. This right here is Trae Young's legacy. Everybody talks about how Trae Young owns the New York Knicks. Let me tell you something. I almost said Jalen Brunson. Trae Young this has been the story of his career. He is still riding high and living off that one series against the New York Knicks, who I don't even know if any of them are in the league anymore, most of that team, if not. This has been his identity, owning the Knicks. He's got 7 wins all time against the Knicks, by the way, and I can't stand it. It's just, that's your legacy, Trae Young. If that's the bar people have set for you, it means you're not a very good player. Thus why you ended up in Washington this season, and the Hawks went on a run and made the playoffs without you, and eliminated by yours truly.
Yeah, that very much brought a smile to my face when we beat the Hawks this year. That year was just a heartbreak. That was so terrible because you make it back to the playoffs as a Knicks fan, you can't feel any better. And then first round, you just go, you're gone in 5 games.
It's unfortunate.
The next topic, and probably the most important topic of this team, is the very frowned upon at the time Jalen Brunson signing. Jalen Brunson signed for 4 years, $160 million. And everyone was very skeptical because at the time, he was a guy coming off the Dallas bench. And he was a great player, and he stepped up when he needed to. But it was a lot of money to give a guy like that, especially his size. That was the biggest, and still is the biggest talking point of his game. But it has proven great. He is one of the best players in the NBA. I don't care what anybody says.
It shouldn't be a debate anymore.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a debate anymore. It still kind of is for some reason.
I don't know why. There's no more debate, objectively speaking. Trae Young, when the signing happened, I wasn't against it. I thought maybe it was an overpay, but I thought we were going to get a good player. I didn't think we'd get somebody who'd go down to New York Knicks Mount Rushmore and arguably one day is the greatest New York Knick to ever wear this jersey. Enough said. Jalen Brunson, I mean, what else is there to say? He's done it outside of winning an MVP. What else is there left to do? He's almost done everything at this point.
Not much. I mean, he got the domestic double, winning the cup and the finals.
I mean, it's 3 MVPs. Cause NBA Cup MVP, you had the Eastern Conference Finals. So if anything, we got a treble, ladies and gentlemen. For those who don't know what a treble is, it's a soccer term. You won 3 trophies. 3.
Yeah, I mean, just an unbelievable year. Past few years, matter of fact, from Jalen Brunson, especially when he started stepping into that 1A role. As people like to say, oh, the Knicks don't have a 1A. He became a 1A player so fast.
Nice one, Becky Hammond. I don't think we forgot. He's not writing back to you, though. I'm just letting you know. I'm just pointing that out.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's just been such an amazing development from him as a player. But moving on to another sensitive topic, the 2022-23 season, you win in the first round. I mean, this team was just firing on all cylinders offensively, but then everyone started to get hurt in the Miami series, and then you lose 4-2.
The 8 seed of Miami Heat. Listen, Jimmy Butler caught fire. They went on a run. At the end of the day, sometimes you just go up against a team that they're in better form than you, and they might be better than you on paper. In the NBA, it's a lot about matchups, and that's why I really think the Knicks weren't ready to win yet. And we saw how great Jalen Brunson could be in that very series. So really not much else to touch on that. It's just sometimes you just run into a hotter team.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree with that, actually. And then something that kind of brought this entire team together, and a majority of players from this part are still on the team, the Nova Knicks. Mikal Bridges comes to New York. Josh Hart gets traded to New York for Cam Reddish. Thank you, Cam Reddish. And then Dante DiVincenzo comes to New York, who's no longer here. But it was Brunson, Mikal, Devo, and Josh Hart. And, I mean, you could see the chemistry on the court. This team played great together. They might not have been on paper the best team you've ever seen, but they played together very well, and they hadn't lost a step since Villanova.
Yeah, it's the power of friendship. What else is there to say?
Yeah.
Power of friendship wins you championships. Chemistry. I always liked the Nova Knicks, and this was before I even knew any of them were going to be New York Knicks. I love this Villanova team from 2018. They were such a great team. The buzzer beater at the end was just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Nova Knicks, baby.
Yeah, and I mean, this team played great, but there was obvious a change had to happen, which is when Cat came in. The Cat trade that
one came out of nowhere.
Broke the barriers of basketball. Nobody had heard a peep about it, but Julius Randle, Devo, and a bunch of picks get sent over to the Timberwolves for Cat.
It's crazy because, I was hearing about Joel Embiid. I was hearing about LeBron still that offseason. I'm just like, okay, Mitchell Robinson's hurt. What are we going to do? And then I see the Karl-Anthony Towns trade. I'm just like, whoa. Okay, we're trying to take a step up.
Yeah.
Sure enough. Sure we did.
And, I mean, that was probably, at that point, team fit-wise, the best player you could have gotten. I mean, his defensive game has developed so much ever since he's come to New York with the scheme that they run. Offensively, he's I'd argue top 3 center in the NBA. I was going to say the best.
Oh, he's
but
over
Jokic
Chet.
is-
He's over Chet Holmgren. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah,
Chet's great, but like, come on, give
big-
Karl Anthony Towns his respect.
The big 4 points.
The big 4.
Chet Holmgren, oh my God, he is terrible in that conference finals game. But back to the topic, yeah, he's a top 3 center in offensively in the NBA. I was going to say 1, but I forgot Jokic was human, so that's obviously number 1. But, I mean, it was a great trade.
It was. It worked out. He
And
won a ring.
I wanted to get rid of Julius Randle so badly.
It was his time.
Yeah.
It was time. His time was up.
You'd hit your plateau with Randle on the team and where you could go with that. And I think everyone started to realize that, and that's when he got shipped off. But actually, I take back what I said earlier. This is the most sensitive topic. The back-to-back years of the Halliburton heartbreak. The first year, in the semis, we lose. Then the second year, we get to the conference finals, so close to the NBA finals. Game 1, we're up by, I want to say, 10 with a few minutes left. And
There's probably more.
yeah, it was like 15 actually. Aaron Nesmith hits 5 straight 3-pointers, and then
It's something
Halliburton
you can't even make up.
ties the game on one of the craziest shots I think I've seen in this
too as
decade.
well. I thought he won the game with that.
Yeah,
It's crazy. If he did the whole Reggie Miller thing and he lost that game, that would have been. I think the Knicks would have won that series if they held on that game. I really do believe that.
yeah.
I just feel like Halliburton's a bigger villain in the Garden than Trae Young ever will be, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just make that clear to you.
I think
He's done it twice.
Yeah,
Recently.
I think the issue is the spirit of the team was so crushed after that game 1.
We saw with the Cavaliers this year, game 1.
Yeah,
And maybe the Cavaliers don't win the series if they win that one, but that was different. And same thing with Spurs in the finals, 29 points.
yeah. I mean, it was just.
Enough said.
It was a heartbreaking year for Knicks fans, but you knew you were going to be back. And this is when more rumors started circulating. Everyone thought Giannis was going to come to the Knicks. This is around when the Karl Anthony Towns, and then you package him with either Bridges or Anunoby. Thank God we didn't.
I never wanted to do that. And I think another reason why the Knicks played with so much fire this postseason is if they didn't win the championship or lost to a team they shouldn't have, they knew one of them at the very least was going to get traded for Giannis. Especially with all the rumors circulating this offseason. If they didn't win the championship, Giannis was taking their spot on this team next year.
Yeah, and I mean, I was at the point of midway through the year this year, I was kind of on the train to get Cat out of here. I'm not going to lie. I thought Giannis would have been a much better addition than Cat. I now regret saying that, but I also didn't want to trade Anunoby because I feel like Anunoby's such an asset on defense.
He's the best two-way player not named Victor Wembanyama. And I'm really on that train.
It's not crazy to say. It's not crazy to say. But, yeah, I mean, these rumors kind of died down after the whole Giannis to Miami stuff started. Then now the Giannis to Boston stuff is going on. And I don't know, it's just going to be a really huge trade with Giannis, but it's not going to be the Knicks because they found their core and they're just going to run with it for the next few years.
That ship has sailed.
Yeah.
For at least for now.
Absolutely. And this is a big part of this championship team. Tom Thibodeau gets fired after last season, and then Mike Brown comes in. Mike Brown had experience as a head coach for the Cavs back in the early 2000s. Then he had a head coaching stint with the Kings where he brought them to the playoffs, actually. And he was an assistant coach with the Warriors for quite a long time.
He was with the Spurs in 2003 as an assistant coach.
He was, yes. You're correct. I was skeptical at first. I'm not going to lie.
I think most of us were, but we knew we were getting an offensive guy.
Yeah.
And somebody who would use the bench.
Yeah. The thing is, it was such a transition because you get Thibodeau, who established such a good defensive scheme, and then you switch to a guy like Mike Brown, who has been on very offensive teams. And it's quite a flip, and you don't know how the team's going to react to it. But, I mean, this team held up on defense really well. I think we were a top 5 defense in the NBA all year.
We were a top five offense as well.
Yeah.
Mike Brown, I was hearing Johnny Bryant for a while just because he was a younger guy. But Mike Brown, let's tell you, we got some good offense out of Mike Brown this year.
Yeah.
And we saw a very likable guy, a likable coach. Sacramento fired him, but I guess the Kings are going to king.
They are. Absolutely.
I don't like saying stuff like that either, but it's unfortunate.
Yeah, no, but I felt like Mike Brown is obviously very crucial to this team because this team couldn't get over the hump last year with Thibodeau, so they fire him, they make their move, get Mike Brown, get their guy, and then they go and win the finals.
And they made good choices as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But Then another part of this offseason was the key signings that we had, because Jordan Clarkson was a key signing. Landry Shamet we brought back. Actually,
Thankfully, I'm happy
yeah,
we brought
thank
Landry
God,
Shamet back.
because Malcolm Brogdon originally was supposed to take that spot, but then he retired actually before the season. And then you did another big signing with Yabusele, not because of how he played, but because of what he got us in the eventual Alvarado trade.
Gershon Yabusele.
Yeah. And Alvarado was also a very huge piece of this team. I mean, he was a defensive spark plug off the bench.
They pushed Kolek to the third string G League. That's how impactful they were.
Yeah, and Kolek played great throughout the season.
Saved us on Christmas Day.
On Christmas Day, I remember watching that game and seeing him drop as many points as he did.
Was
and
so
just playing
good.
Unbelievable.
Too good.
Yeah. But now I think it's time we look over this playoff run, because, I mean, this is one of the more dominant playoff runs we've seen in the last few years. Obviously, nothing will top the Dirk run, and I'm not saying this is even near that. But you look at this, you go down 1-2 to the Hawks, right? Obviously, you're not feeling great. You're going to Atlanta for Game 4. You win 3 straight, and you beat Atlanta in 6. Then you move on. You're like, okay, you see Boston loses to Philly. So, again, another more possible series than you thought it would have been with Boston. And you take down Philly in 4. You sweep them. I mean,
It was dominant.
Yeah.
It's funny that we bring up the Hawks because it was Game 3, it was, right? It was draft night. I was at William Patterson's Brave New Radio. My buddy Matt Goldman was hosting a draft night show. We had a split screen going, and I saw on my buddy's computer, CJ McCollum hits a game-winning shot, and I'm just like, the Knicks are really going to go out 2-1. It's not going to happen this year, is it? And then we just found a way to not only beat the brakes off the Hawks 3 times, but we go out there and we just set record after record after record in this postseason. We go to Philly, and then we had Kenny the Jet Smith waving the white flag on inside the NBA. The Sixers, not a chance. Never had a prayer. Cavs, thought they had us in the first game, not going to lie. And then Jalen Brunson, you just take a second and then you understand. When it comes to Jalen Brunson, Captain Clutch, the Dark Knight himself, pressure is his playground. And that's how it's always going to be. And we saw it against the San Antonio Spurs in this current Knicks run. They can't live up to the pressure, at least not yet. Castle, Wemby, Vassell, Champagny, De'Aaron Fox.
Oh, De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox, the newest Shanghai Shark.
And we saw OG Anunoby with, in my opinion, the greatest tip-in NBA history, maybe in basketball history. And
that's
not a crazy thing to say. I was going crazy with my mom and dad. I called my brother Adam Kudamati, a fellow Wayne Hills TV Hall of Famer, by the way. And he was in utter euphoria. And when I called him after the finals, I didn't get much time to talk to him. He was just, you could probably imagine things he was saying, and I'm not going to say them on here because I respect the algorithm and the language barrier. But I am grateful for this Knicks team because I waited years to see this team. I know my brother certainly waited a lot longer than I did. And other Knicks fans too, like Spike Lee, Stephen A. Smith. And it's about time the New York Knicks, that's right, the Knickerbockers, baby. 3rd ring, 3 championships.
Yeah, I mean, it was just such an unbelievable season from this team. But this was the year it had to happen. You looked at the roster, top to bottom. This was
their window. This was their shot with all the teams that were losing. I know Pistons fans, Celtics fans want to act all tough. Pacers fans who won 19 games, high and mighty. Nobody was beating the Knicks this year. I've seen enough.
Yeah,
They completed the treble. First ever team to complete the treble, by the way.
Yeah, and
First ever.
This was the year they used the bench finally, which is credit to Mike Brown, but they used all of the bench, and that very much helped us get to this point. But looking back on the Spurs series as well, the Spurs are going to have their years of glory, probably next year, to be so honest with you. But this was the Knicks year. They had the experience. They had proven winners. Anunoby had won a ring before. These guys had been at this stage before.
There's no guarantee for the Spurs, though. I like to say there's no guarantee in sports. You never know when you're going to make it back. So, New York, embrace it, cherish it, celebrate it. You never know when the next championship's going to be.
Yeah. The Spurs, unbelievable team. Unbelievable roster top to bottom. You had Dylan Harper playing amazing the entire series, but just the inexperience showed at times. Like the clutch free throws
Every
missed
game.
at the end of games.
Every single game.
And the ability not to close out. And the Spurs very much ran their offense through a pick and roll set to try and get Wemby under the paint most plays or get him out on the perimeter.
Anybody who thought the Spurs were going to win in 5 or 4, what are we doing?
So pretty much everybody in the world.
What were we doing?
except
Everybody in
Knicks
the world.
fans.
I told people, if you think the Spurs are going to win like that, you're lying. It was never going to happen. They could have won the series. They weren't ever going to beat the Knicks like just a free Mickey Mouse type of championship. No, brother. That's not what's happening here. This is the New York Knicks. This is Jalen Brunson's team. This is the Jalen Brunson Knicks. And at the end of the day, you kept disrespecting the Knicks even when you were down 3-1. Whether it was Wemby or Castle, they got to learn to grow up. They got to learn to mature and to not be tone deaf to the situation. Because that was Greg Popovich, and I like Mitch Johnson. I'm not sure if the Spurs lose those games with Greg Popovich as the coach.
Not at all. No. He would have had his guys in check right after game 1.
And they need to learn and mature, and to do that, and maybe they'll get a shot at another championship. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will be coming back for his crown next year.
Yeah.
But until then, it's the New York Knicks who are on top of basketball's highest summit.
Yep. That'll be the end of this episode of Tri-State Sports. Rocco, I want to say it was an absolute pleasure sharing my last time on the set with you. I really appreciate it, man.
Proud of you and your class for making it this far. I've seen you guys grow from day one. And how fitting the last episode of the school year ends with this guy on your camera. Once more.
That'll be it for the episode. Thank you for watching me and Rocco throughout the years. And Rocco, you'll probably be back here at some point whenever one of your teams wins a major sports championship.
Hey, listen, when I'm in my gray beard and white hair era, the Jets will probably be Super Bowl champions again. And who knows? Who knows who's running this place by then? Who knows? But I'm sure I'll have a gray beard. I'll look like Roman Reigns. I'll be in my ancient tribal chief era. Until then, I mean, go New York, go New York.
Go next.